One of these tax prep services lets more people file for free. Is it TurboTax or H&R Block Online? We may never know. More people can file free with H&R Block Online. TurboTax. It's better with Block.
All right, Kelly Cole is here in the Peak Crew, and he is giving you seven.
What up?
All right, Kelly. So you're giving them 7 tips that they need for. So you right now, people are at home for
right,
and they're looking at what can I do to maneuver through this, and they have ideas, Kelly. They have thoughts, and they have a host of things that they may want to get out of their minds onto paper. And you, my friend, globally known as someone who has published thousands of books. You've helped thousands of authors get their ideas out on paper, and you are someone that we consider to be a guru. You know, back in the day, I used to call you the generator because you generated fresh ideas. You got people off the couch, you got them off the fence and into their lives, man. But before we get into your tips, I want you to tell people, how did you get started in the publishing industry?
Man, I got started with my first book. Most people don't know I used to work at Walmart during the day and Blockbuster at night. 2 jobs, 16, 17-hour days where I absolutely hated it. And I dreamed about the day that I can quit my jobs and start a business on the internet. So what happened was ABC introduced the TV show Shark Tank. I fell in love with the show. I started taking notes from the show. And one of my friends asked me, can they borrow my notes? And they told me after reading my notes that my notes would make a great book and that I should also interview the sharks. So I emailed all of the sharks, and Barbara Culkin was the only one to hit me back. She agreed to give me an interview. I interviewed Barbara, and I told Barbara, hey, will you help me get an interview with Damon? She helped me get that interview. I took my notes. Those 2 interviews turned into a book, and that became my first #1 Amazon bestseller.
Look at you, man. So let's talk about that for a second, because you know, people right now looking like, hey, man, I want to do something like that. Not necessarily writing a book, but you took an initiative to get in touch with some people you saw on television on one of America's #1 shows, and you persisted until you got in touch. What was that process like?
For sure. I just went to their website and sent them an email. It's that simple. Especially now with social media, you really have no excuse. You know, a lot of their contact information is right on their social media page, or you can actually DM them. Now, something that, you know, I would recommend is try to provide some type of value to them versus asking for something. That'll get you there a lot quicker than just saying, hey, will you do this? Will you do this for me? Provide some type of value for them first.
Oh, see, now you done struck a action word, value.
Value.
Now, so let's talk to the people right quick before we get into your tips about value. What would you say to people? How do people look at what's valuable? Because some people might have something valuable, but they don't know what that value is. How do they find that?
Yeah, you figure out what they need. So if you're following a particular influencer or celebrity, pay attention to what they need. So that's how I got a lot of, you know, NFL and NBA clients, especially retired ones. I noticed the ones who were trying to transition and shift. They were trying to get into speaking. And one thing I know about, if you want to break into speaking, you need a book. So I would just simply say, hey, let me do a book for you. Let me help you. We can actually interview you. We can write it for you. So providing some type of value of something that they can use to advance whatever it is that they're doing. So if you notice there's a particular influencer or celebrity that's not posting much on social media, and you're a social media manager, offer them to do their social media for them for free. And you never know who they will introduce you to.
Did you say for free?
For free. Yeah.
Doing the Corona for free?
Doing the Corona for free. So seeds. That's how you're going to read. So a lot of times people will pass up an opportunity because there's not a check attached to it on the front end. But, you know, experts make their money on the back end.
Okay. That's a good thing to say. Experts make their money on the back end, because a lot of times people are looking at what they need right now, especially during a pandemic. A lot of people still not working, and they're saying, Kelly Cole, you're telling me to work for free. I can't afford to do that.
Yes, you can. Because by simply sowing a seed, like we talk about books, I'm a publisher. A lot of times I don't care about selling a book. I care about giving away my book. I give away my book. Reason being because what I really want to sell you is on the back end.
Okay.
The book is the marketing tool. It's the new business card. And that's what makes me stand out from others. And if you have a book, it separates you from the pack. So if you're giving out books instead of business cards at a networking function, who do you think they're going to remember and who you think they're going to call? They're going to call you. And one thing I know is people throw away business cards. They throw away those 4x6 glossies, but a book they'll never throw away. And I can prove that, Mo. I don't care how many times you have moved. You're going to pack up that bookcase and you're going to take all of those books, even the ones you have never read. They're coming to your next destination. And if they don't actually make it to your next destination, you're going to take them to the Goodwill. You're going to take them to Salvation Army. But guess what? You didn't throw it away. Them stack of business cards, they went right in the trash.
Yeah, because you say, I ain't called this guy in a year. I'm not going to call him now. So let me throw this away. Or I don't need this paper. You don't have anywhere to put it. So, yeah, it's going in trash. Okay, so you have some tips. Let's talk about your tips.
So like basically 7 benefits. I was going to talk about the 7 benefits, but you kicked it off a little bit different. And I actually want to help some people. You said like people are home in the corona and they don't know what to do. They got these ideas, right? So I got this simple way of writing a book. It's basically 7 steps, all right? So I'm going to shift a little bit if that's okay with you. You the host, so you the man.
Hey, it's fine with me, man. You give the people, we're trying to get the people off the fence. Some people are on the fence right now about some things they want to do. Like there's a lot of people I believe have ideas because I hear about this all the time. I'm just not that guy that's going to help you through that maneuver through that. But people want to know. And so there's some people right now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching via Facebook Live, YouTube, if you have questions for any of the guests that's on tonight, ask your questions. I can put them on the screen. We can make sure that they see your questions, answer your questions, because we don't want you to get off the fence. You can't get off the fence if you don't have answers. So let's get you the answers. So, all right, Kelly, let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, so this is what stops people from actually starting to write a book. So in my DM, in my email, I get people all day. I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. And what stops them from even starting, they look at a book as this huge mountain that they have to conquer. All right. Now, listen, I'm going to break it down into small steps. First of all you need to start with is making a list, and that is simply your outline. So if you are a smart grocery shopper, before you go to the grocery store, you make a list. Okay. Then you go to the store, you put the things on the buggy, you put the things in the buggy on the list. Now, Mo, let me ask you a question. Do you come home and you cook the things in order that you put them in the buggy? Do you do that?
No, I don't. I generally don't cook them at all.
Exactly. You either don't cook them at all, but you don't cook them in order. What usually happens is when you come home, you say, hey, what do I feel like eating today?
Right.
Right? You look in the refrigerator, you say, hey, I feel like making this if you are a cooker. All right. I tell people writing a book is the same way. When you get your outline, you get your list of things you want to cover in your book. Each day, all you need to do is look at what you feel like writing about that day or talking about. See, that's another tip. You don't actually have to write the book. You can actually speak the book. All right. Now,
what do you mean speaking? What do you mean speaking?
I'm getting ready to break it down. There's so many free tools out here like Zoom. You can get on a Zoom. Like you, my boy Mo. I can say, hey, Mo, here's my outline. Here are 5 questions under each topic. I want you to ask me these questions. And what we're going to do, we're going to record it on Zoom. Then I'm going to take that audio that Zoom is going to give me for absolutely free. I'm going to upload it to a site called rev.com, rev.com. Rev is going to transcribe that audio for $1.25 per minute. And in 24 hours, they're going to send me a Word document, word for word.
Really?
All you have to do with that document next is send it to an editor, and guess what? Bam, you got a book. It's that simple.
Now, how long would something like that take if you went that route? Just audio recording only, no writing?
Like I said, you you interviewing me right now. You can get the interview done in one night. In 24 hours, Rev transcribe it, and then guess what? You send it to an editor, you got a book. The editor might take about a week to edit it, but then you got your book.
So some people might be looking at a cost behind this. What does average cost of a book editor in this industry? What will that run somebody? What will that set somebody back?
So some editors charge per word. Some editors charge by the length of the book, the size, and all of that. But I'm gonna say on average, you're looking at about $300 to $500 to get a good editor to edit your book. Your transcription is going to run you $1.25 per minute. So 60 minutes of audio is going to equal about 10,000 words. That's what it equals.
Okay.
So let's back up. So once they make their outline, under each topic on their outline, just write 5 to 10 questions someone would have about that chapter title. Okay. And all you need to do, if you're going to actually write it or speak it, say you don't want to do it all in one day. For 20 days, all you need to do is speak or write 500 words per day. And in 20 days, you got a 10,000 word book done.
How many pages is that, Kelly?
That's going to be about close to 100 pages. Now, what I always recommend, depending on what type of book you're writing, if you're writing a how-to book or a book that you're going to use as a business card, it shouldn't be over 150 pages.
Why is that?
Because ain't nobody going to read it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not even going to read the 150 pages. But I guarantee you, if you hand them a 200-page book, they're really not going to read it. They're going to be intimidated by it. But a book that's around 150 pages is an easy read, especially, and it's great and it's easy to carry around, especially if you're going to use it as a business card. I'm not talking about your autobiography. I'm not talking about, your book that you're using, you're going to, put your stamp on and it's going to be your outlet to the world. I'm talking about looking at a book as a business card. And that's how I write. And that's what I teach people to do.
Okay. Now I know a guy who's written a couple books. You guys may have heard of him. His name is Mo Stiegel. Now, he's never written a book under 100 pages or 150 pages. And as Finch, I'm looking to write a book, and I need some insight on how to do that, because that's something I struggle with. Looking at, okay, I don't feel like writing today, and you just gave me a great idea about speaking it, because I think I can do that. Because I have ideas all the time. Oftentimes I put them in my phone, I jot them in my notes in my phone, but I've never thought about just recording them. And now, can you do that on your phone, or does it have to be on the Zoom call?
No, I was just giving them an example of some free tools. You can actually do it on your phone and then upload that audio to rev.com. Rev.com actually even has an app. So you can do it, upload it right from your phone onto the app, and they will email you your document in 24 hours. Like, it's really quick, and it is like 98% accurate word for word.
Now, is there a charge for rev.com?
Yeah, it's $1.25 per minute. They just went up. It's $1.25 per minute. So
if you have a 30-minute recording, it's going to cost you about $30 of some sort.
Let's say about $30. Yep.
Okay. All right.
And then, time is money. So I do that a lot of times with my books. I'll speak my books, and then I'll actually go to rev.com, have them transcribe it, and then I clean it up, and then I send it to the editor. So I always start with, the audio and the dictation of the book first.
Okay. All right. And so that's 2 tips, right? So what number are we on? 2 or 3?
I don't even know. We're just going to keep rolling.
We're going to keep rolling. Okay.
What scares the people, like I said, they feel like they have to write in order. No, you write based on how you're feeling that particular day. So whatever you feel like talking about that day and it's on your list, that's what you write about. And that's what you either speak or have somebody interview you and write it. So that'll cut the time. And then when you add Rev in there, 24 hours, you can have your book done. Now, we talk about there's a lot of different tools out there where you can get your book cover design. You can do all of these different things on your own. Now, I don't recommend you doing them on your own. I'm the publisher. You should come to us. So once you get your document, just come to us. We do everything else for you. You just need to write the book.
So real quick, because you just brought that up. So let's tell people how would they get in touch with you? If you just joined us, guys, we have the publisher here, Kelly Cole. He's giving you some tips. He's published book for a number of people. A lot of times people say, hey, I have to be a celebrity. I have to be a business professional. No, you do not. Is that true, Kelly? Do you have to be famous? Do you have to be? No,
You do not. You do not. The book is going to make you the expert. The book is the thing that's going to separate you from the pack. Because automatically, when I stand up and say, "Hey, I'm a two-time #1 best-selling author," that gets more looks than I say I'm the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole. And especially when I say, I'm gonna give you an example. So I wrote the book. When I wrote the Shark Tank book, the very first week I dropped the book and it hit #1 on the bestsellers list, I got a call from Norfolk State University. I got my first paid speaking engagement. They paid my honorarium, they paid travel, they paid lodging, and then afterwards they took me to my favorite restaurant, and I sold about $500 in books. So you can imagine how that plane ride home for me was. It was great. Man, I had so much fun. It was the best time. And then that's when I was like, yo, this is it. This is what I really want to do. So no, the book makes you an expert. Now, what type of event did they book me for? They booked me to sit on an entrepreneurship panel. Why? Because I had a book about the #1 entrepreneur show on TV. #2, and it was a transfer of credibility because I was connected to Barbara and Damon. They put me in that class and it transferred the credibility of them and the show of Shark Tank. And I was able to come and sit on this panel.
Now, what was the name of that book, Kelly?
It's called Conversations with Sharks.
Clever title. Who came up with that?
Me. Yep.
Okay.
Wait. I gotta give credit to one of my marketing partners in my marketing group at ATL. He wrote a book called Conversations with Millionaires. And when I was thinking of a title, I was like, yo, that's dope. I should do Conversations with Sharks. Because I really tried hard to get all of the sharks. And Barbara was the only one who replied. And Mark Cuban replied a couple of times and he would just be like, yo, I just don't have time. I would love to do it, but I don't have time. And so Barbara was like, yo, I'll text Damon for you right now and I'll CC you in it. And she did. She was like, Damon, get this guy an interview. He's a great guy. And Damon set it up immediately, man.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Barbara's really cool.
She is. We still cool, man. I send her a Christmas card every year. She sent me one back, bro.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, she dope. She took funny story about Barbara. I gave her a quote and I said, you don't have to get it right. You just got to get it going. And she was like, oh, I like that. And I said, Barbara, you can have that. Just give me my credit. She was like, I ain't giving nobody credit for shit. That's mine. That's mine. And guess what, Mo? The crazy thing about it, she made a graphic and everything, posted on her Twitter and everything. It was like, yo, this is my new quote.
Wow.
They yanked it.
Yanked it from you, huh?
Yanked it. It don't matter. I still use it. So
didn't give you royalties or nothing, huh?
Nothing. I stole one of your quotes. I don't even know if you know that. Every time I speak, I say one of your quotes.
Which quote is that? Get your ass off the fence.
It's one of the other ones where you say doing nothing changes nothing. Doing something changes everything, man.
Oh, I think Mo said that stuff. I ain't never said that.
Yeah, Finch ain't said that. That was the old guy. My bad.
Finch ain't never said nothing like that. Yeah. But you're right though. You know, it's like when you look at life in general and you're looking at all the things that you want to do in life, you are a prime example of doing something and it changing everything for you. Because you could have sat on that idea about interviewing the Sharks. You could have daydreamed about it, saying, I wish. And then you could have put self-imposed roadblocks in front of yourself to say, I'll never be able to do this because I don't have any contacts in the celebrity industry, but you took the route. So for people who's watching this right now, via YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed now and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time Off the Fence goes live or posts a video. But if you're on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, somebody's watching this right now and they're saying, I want to do something that's great. Because that was pretty big, Kelly. That was pretty big.
Yeah.
You got two of the richest people in our world to sit down and talk to you for a book that was titly named after their show, Conversation with Sharks.
Yeah.
So somebody that's watching or listening to this on all of the streaming platforms right now, what would you say to them about sitting on that idea they've had for quite some time?
Well, I'll share something that Barbara talked about in the book. She talked about her rule of 5 theory.
Okay.
She knows for every 5 ideas that she tries, one of them is going to be a winner. So the key is actually just doing them. When the idea comes to you, just do it. Like you really have nothing to lose. And I posted a quote the other day. It says like playing it safe is the thing that's going to keep you broke. So like in Corona, if we're talking about being in quarantine and what's going on with COVID-19 and all that stuff, most of the people have been home anyway. So what have you been doing with that time? Quarantine is 14 days. You could have got a book done in 14 days.
Could have got a book done in 14 days.
Coulda got
There's
it
a lot
done.
of things you can do in 14 days.
For sure. So
You could have got pregnant. You
Yeah.
could have had, all kind of stuff, man.
That's going. You could have got somebody pregnant, but that's going to cost you more money than actually producing something that's going to produce an income. So I'm always about using your time wisely and doing something that's going to produce it. But back to your question, Mo, I say do it. You have nothing to lose. You have more to lose by not doing it than you do than actually taking that leap and actually trying. Like it's not going to hurt you. They're not going to kill you for shooting them a DM. Nobody's going cuss you out for sending them an email. Most of the time, you're gonna get their assistant anyway. Now, if you want a trick, I want to give somebody. You know me, Mo. I like to give stuff away. I'm gonna give y'all a huge marketing tip. All right. Now, if there's an influencer or somebody you even gotta shoot high. Say there is somebody or company or organization that you want to speak for, right?
Okay.
This is what I recommend. This is just something. You don't need to go to necessarily the top person. Find out who their secretary is, find out who their assistant is, and that's who you become friends with. All right. Now I'm gonna give you a trick. What you do, you find them on Facebook. You go on Facebook and you see the places that they have checked in at frequently. So if they've checked in at Starbucks frequently, if they've checked in at Dunkin' Donuts, write them a handwritten note and send them a gift card. Say, hey, here's lunch on me. Just wanted you to know I was thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. Pray you have a blessed day, blah, blah, blah.
That works?
It works every time. I've got $10,000, $15,000 deals done by just doing that.
For real, Kelly?
On everything, bro.
So let's recap that again for those who just joined us. So You're saying if you want to connect a resource that could prove to be pretty valuable to you, you're suggesting the people to do what?
I'm suggesting the people that they show themselves friendly, that they sow a seed. So buy them a cup of coffee, buy them lunch. Hey, I want to buy you lunch. Here's lunch for you and your staff. Here's lunch for you and your team. And then include, like, if you have a book, include your book. And guess what's going to happen when they're ready to book a speaker and they need a speaker? Even if they're not ready right now, they're going to remember that person that bought them lunch. They're going to remember that person that bought them coffee. They're going to remember that person who actually thought about them. Now, think about this too. If they're actually home, right? Most people are ordering Uber Eats and they're home. They're working from home and stuff like that. You could do all of this stuff via Facebook Messenger. So you don't even have to have their address. You don't even have to have their address at work. You can send it right through Messenger. Technology is your friend.
Okay. All right, Kelly, we got to pay some bills right quick. So hold that thought, man. We're coming back with a few more tips from Kelly Cole, the publisher. We'll be right back. It's Off the Fence with Finch. We'll be right back.
Whether your day starts at home or 3,000 miles away, there is one constant. Great days start by looking your best. From the moment you cinch your tie, adjust your scarf, put on your shoes, or straighten your name tag, every detail of your uniform was designed with you in mind. The new uniform collection by Land's End, created for you and by you. Pride in profession and passion for what we do every single day is the driving force behind the best trained, most skilled team members in the business. Together, we are American Airlines, and we make this look good.
All right, American Airlines, making you look good. This show is also brought to you in part by Power of Knowledge and Community LLC. True power is where knowledge intersects the strength of community. You're watching Off the Fence with Finch. I am your host, Harold Finch. This is the publisher, Kelly Cole. He's globally known. He's published hundreds of thousands of books, thousands of people. He's made best-selling authors. and he's here tonight to share some tips, give some wisdom, and he's dropping a lot of knowledge for people who may be sitting at home during Corona, and they're looking for something to do with their ideas and their thoughts. And they're like, hey, man, I'm not a writer, you guys. Kelly has told you guys you don't have to necessarily write your ideas and your outline. Let's go back to the first one you told them about the grocery store list, because I don't make lists when I go to the grocery store, but I do. I make them in my head. Let me say that. I don't necessarily write them down because I always know what I'm going to get. So let's talk about that for a second, and then we'll get back into some of your other tips.
So you're one of those people who overspend and buy things you didn't come there for.
No, I'm not one of those people. I am very frugal, may I add. Okay, sometimes I overspend. Okay, sometimes.
There you go. All right, keep it funky. But yeah, so it starts with just the list. That's what I always tell people. And I'm glad you brought it back because I wanted to go back there too. I want to make sure that they get this. Just make a list of things that you want to cover. All right. And that becomes your outline, and that becomes your chapters. Under each chapter title, write down 5 to 10 questions someone would have about that chapter title. Then all you do is just have someone interview you and answer those questions. Now, if you can't think of those questions, go straight to social media and say, hey, what questions do you have about blank? Hey, what questions do you have about writing a book? And you'll be surprised of how many people who will make comments, and that becomes the content for your book. All you have to do is answer those questions. Now, if you're a speaker and you're watching this broadcast right now and you do not have a book, I guarantee you're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table by not having a book. I guarantee you that. Like, that's not a okay. I'm gonna give you an example. I did a keynote. I did a keynote in I believe it was Rockford, Illinois. They paid me $5,000 for my speaker fee. They paid me travel. They paid me lodging. Okay. I sold another $1,500 in books. Okay. I sold $500 in t-shirts that I took a quote from my book and created a t-shirt. Then I also got 2 more speaking engagements. And I sold 3 book publishing package. All right. Now I'm going to give a tip that I only give my high paying coaching clients. You give the book away is because you want to sell them what you really want to sell them. Their high ticket, your high ticket product, course, or service. And I'm going to give you some examples. If you follow Grant Cardone, if you follow E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher, if you follow Tony Robbins, if you follow all of the big entrepreneurs, all of them are running ads on Facebook, and they're giving away their book for free. Why are they giving away their book for free? Because Grant Cardone wants to sell you to come to his 10X conference. Tickets to his 10X conference are $1,000 per ticket. That's for the bottom level. $15,000 is the VIP. So they give the book away for free to get you in their funnel so they can really sell you what they really want to sell you, which is their course, which is their conference. Now, if you're creating a book and you have a keynote speech, you should have something on the back end. You should have a coaching program. You should have some type of conference, workshop, one-on-one coaching. And that's where you really make the money at. And look at the book as the marketing tool.
The marketing tool.
It's the marketing tool. It's the new business card. The book is the 2020 business card. Even Entrepreneur Magazine said the world's best marketing tool is a book. And I stand by that.
All right. That's interesting. So let's get back into a few more of your tips before we get out of here.
Okay. So I want to share this case study real quick. I had a client. He came to me. He says, Kelly, I want to write this book about fatherhood, right? So all he did was he gave us the idea he had for the title. He didn't know what he wanted on his cover, right? So I had my graphic designer create him a cover, a mock cover. He posted that cover now and hadn't wrote a single word in his book. And he got 4 paid speaking engagements just from posting the cover.
Whoa.
I have screenshotted. I can read you what his Facebook post said. You want to hear that?
Let's hear it.
He said, hold on one second. Let me get to it. Let me find it real quick. My guy, he said, hold on. I'm pulling it up. I had it ready. I knew you was going to ask me to read it. He says, can you still see me?
I can still see you.
All right, hold on. That covered my screen.
Everybody else can see you too.
He said, ever since posting, announcing my book coming in February, I have gotten 4 book speaking engagements. They have been pouring in. He said, anything I can do to help my family get ahead, my mom and dad, I'm able to do that. That's 4 paid speaking engagements in a month without even releasing my book. That was before he released his book. I got another young man. He was 18 years old, and he created a 31-page book. All it was a 31-page journal.
Okay.
Will Graham, who's Billy Graham, I believe is Bill Graham's nephew, right?
Okay.
I don't know which one it was. They did an event in the arena in our area. He went down there passing out books to them. They ended up taking him to Hawaii with them, him going and passing out his books. And he ended up going on the rest of the tour with them, all because he had the book. And his dream was to become a speaker. And I said, hey, man, you do this book and you give the book away, it's going to lead you to what you really want to do.
So you tell people to give away stuff a lot.
I say give away the book because it's number one, you're sowing the seed and you're introducing people to you. So I'm going to give away some stuff when you give me the final cue. I got something for everybody.
Janine Williams says, Finch, is Mo taking notes? I doubt it. I doubt it. I think he's sleeping right this time. He's not up doing these hours,
Finch is the wild man.
Yeah. All right. So Kelly, give us one more tip before we get out of here.
One more tip. I would say just write it. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Right?
You're going to take the Nike.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to take
Nike quote and just say, just do it. All right, Kelly. So how can people get in contact with you if they want some of your services?
Okay, so I have a free masterclass that I give away to everybody. And you can go take my masterclass. And that masterclass will teach you how to become a best-selling author in 90 days, even if you hate writing and don't even know where to start. All you need to do is go to bestsellerscircle.com, bestsellerscircle.com. And if you want to follow me personally, my personal brand, everything on social media is at Mr. Kelly Cole, and that's also my website.
All right, Kelly Cole. Thank you. Kelly Cole will be back every third Tuesday of the month with some new tips for you. So make sure you follow him and check him out right here on Off the Fence. Thank you so much for helping people get their ass off the fence tonight, man. We really appreciate you stopping by.